that resolved sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael, I want to get to this because this was a part of the game. They booed the national anthem. I mean, Canadians booed the national anthem up in Canada, the U.S. national anthem, and then the Americans booed the Canadian national anthem in the final game. But a lot of pride was on the line here. And I actually want to get to these pictures that you showed. You actually took these. Can we get to the pictures? They're the next one in the slides here. This is from a grocery store up in Canada. And I want to show that because it's showing that there's nation's pride in Canada right now, given what we've seen politically. And it says, proudly Canadian. So I want to ask you, is this something that's good now? Because this is in anticipation of the tariffs coming in. But now Canadians are relying on their own products based on that impact that those tariffs could have on goods.
Facts be told, I didn't take those pictures. I got them on the internet.
Oh.
But they're widely available. It is absolutely what's happening now. Canadian pride is front and center. Canadians are kind of saying, if that's what you want to do to us, we'll tighten things up. I mean, I think the interesting thing, I did a little research. So Trump talks about the 51st state. If Canada was to become the 51st state, consider this. Canada has 41.6 million people. California has 39 million, so we outpopulate California. That means if Canada was to become the 51st state, we would have 2 senators and 55 House seats based on the 2020 census metrics. That means we'd have 57 electoral college delegates. Sometimes, you know, guys, you may not like what you're asking for, even though it may never happen. Canada is not all conservative, so that would prove to be a little challenging at best with your elections. We would be a swing nation, not a state, John.
I also saw, too, that, what was it, that Canada says, well, why doesn't the U.S. become, what, the 13th province? No, 14th province. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
I mean, come on. You know what? No matter what, if something went down in a situation and I looked over to a fellow American or an American looked over to me, I would have his back, he would have my back. We're their friends, we're their neighbors. Politicians want to do what they want to do. We stand side by side. We play hard on the field, but we're still friends and we will always be colleagues. And I think that's the one thing. I think it's deplorable that either party boos a national anthem. I sing both national anthems, and I put my hand over my heart because I think that's something that Americans do, which makes you really think and appreciate your national anthem. So I think it's deplorable that people are booing. We should support that. We're better than that. And I think we got to move on from that. Let the politicians battle it out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. My takeaway was just, it was so exciting to watch these two rivalries, or the rivalry of these two teams, and just everybody wanted to tune in to see this, but at the end of the day, everyone shook hands. One team celebrated the other, but it was all good for the game, and I'm glad that more people are watching hockey because that was an amazing game. Kevin Weeks, Michael Charbonneau, I got to leave it there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you both coming on.
Thanks for having me, as always. Thank you.
Absolutely. Up next, President Trump.